Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Lava Lava. We are Fiapoko, Samoan veterans who talk about topics surrounding the Samoan culture and life. I'm your host, Michael Tan, and here with me today are Ati, Fatu, Spencer, T, Johnny, and our guest, Sawai. To listen in on the latest episodes, be sure to follow us and subscribe on all social media platforms, including YouTube and Spotify. I hope you enjoy this episode. Now let's get straight into it. Today's topic is on pet peeves. What is your pet peeve? We're going to talk about our pet peeves at home, at work, or in a public environment. I know for me, one of my pet peeves are the noisy eaters who like to smack their lips.
Second.
Yep.
Second. Mouth.
I know we have a noisy eater in our group today, and his name is Fatu. What are you guys' pet peeves?
You don't know what you're missing. When you smack your lips, all the flavors are down. You don't know what you're missing, my friend.
Well, I feel like people that are smacking their lips when they eat, they probably don't get enough attention at home. So that's probably why they do that. If you guys know Fatu the way I do, this guy, we'll talk about that later. But anyways, that's just my take on it. That person just needs some attention. That's one way to get it, right?
That's a really good point. Every time I see people I know chewing with their mouth open, I'm like, attention.
I think it's just we have like thick lips, like scrumptious thick lips. So it's hard, it's hard.
Nah, bro, I got big lips. I don't smack.
The fact that you associate thick lips with scrumptious is kind of mind-boggling to me. I don't think those two go together, but okay.
When I met my wife, and if I ever get caught chewing like that, that's her thing. I wouldn't have been married this long.
While we're on the topic of food, another pet peeve of mine is when someone makes a comment like "ew" or something to that extent to what I'm eating or to what they're eating, and they make a face in reaction to what they're eating. So I don't like it when people do that.
Oh, here's one. This one's kind of funny because I always get on my wife about it. But like one of my pet peeves is like when you do something that's generally accepted or is very popular, or like you listen to a certain music or watch a certain movie, and you always have that person come up to you, even if they're younger than you, and they'll come up to you and say, "What do you know about oh, you're listening to this? What do you know about?" Even I was like, dude, you were a child when this came out. And there are even instances where I do it with my wife all the time. So like we'll be listening to music and I'll play something like an old song from the 40s. And she's really big into old songs. And she'll be like, "What? That's the jam. What do you know about this song?" And I was like, the fact that it was sung in 1940, it was highly popular. It was on Billboard Top 100. What else you want? Did I have to live in your era to be able to vibe to this song? Are you this song police or this movie? It was like a thing with the Lord of the Rings. I was like, "Oh, I love Lord of the Rings." And she loved the movies religiously. Like, "Oh, what do you know about Lord of the Rings?" I was like, "I read the books." Well, we're not talking about the books, we're talking about the movies. But it was like one of those things. So I hate people that do that.
Yeah, that person that usually try to one-up on you, no matter what the topic is, right? Yep, we all have those. One of my biggest pet peeves is not being able to talk about, whatever's bothering you. Like, for example, me and my lady, we go through that. Say, "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "Ah, okay." And then maybe 5 minutes later, it's funny that, we all have those. So my thing is, if I'm going to ask you, "What's wrong?" please, a sentence or a paragraph will suffice. No, nothing. There's a reason why I ask. It's because I care and I want to know. Because nothing is going to give you nothing, pretty much. So that's my biggest pet peeve.
How about those people who say "no offense," or something along that lines, and then they say it? They offend you or say something rude to you. Like, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it.
Actually, I like those kind of people because at least they're being honest and not trying to lie to you. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Or for me, it's like, if you got something offensive to say, stand by it. Don't lead up with something that you think is going to be a barrier to whatever else you're about to say. It's like, "Hey, no offense, but your breath stinks." Like, "Dude, my breath stinks. Just tell me." Like, don't sugarcoat it or nothing. It's like, either you believe in what you're about to say or not. Don't try to get out of it before you even put it out there.
How about personal hygiene, especially at work? There are those people who don't shower or they don't brush their teeth for however many days, and you're just sitting next to them, and the stench, they just hits you. People should have at least some common sense, but and I guess at the same time, common sense doesn't mean the same thing to everyone. But please shower or brush your teeth when you're at work. I don't care if you're at home, but when you're meeting people or in social environments, at least take care of yourself. Especially people who cut their nails out in public. That's a big no-no for me because I've seen a lot of people do that, especially at work. Why would you cut your nails in front of other people?
What about the no deodorant?
I feel like this episode is a way for you to communicate with your coworkers. Tan.
Right? Did you add them on the?
No, it's not my coworkers right now. I'm just talking about the overall total.
In general.
Great. Now my wife's gonna be waiting for this episode to air. She's like, "What is he talking about me now?" Huh?
I feel like we should all give the opportunity to Fatu Noah to speak on the hygiene topic because I feel like that's his. No, I think he went to school for it, right?
I don't know what school you have to go to for hygiene, but I've never heard of it. Can you elaborate, please?
I think what you call that? It's called MU, Marine University, I think.
Hey, I went to that school too.
But he was taking a different degree. Remember, you're a different program, though. This is his program.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, that was the sex ed. I didn't take the hygiene one. I took the sex ed one.
When I was in the Marine Corps, we had a Marine who did not shower. Like personal hygiene was in the back of his head, and basically we had to force him to the shower. But that was one of those instances. But what do you guys think about people who think the gym is only for slim and fit people? Because I don't like those kind of people. There's all sorts of people who go to the gym for self-improvement and to become healthy.
That's like that. My favorite like meme that goes around talking about that topic is like saying the gym is only for healthy people or for skinny people is like saying hospitals are only for healthy people. You go to the hospital because you're sick. You go to the gym because you want to improve your fitness. It doesn't matter what level your fitness is already at. Like that's where people are starting their journey. You should be encouraging anybody who got up the courage to go to keep at it. I don't get that snobbery.
Don't worry, Dad. We'll go to the gym later. I got you.
Don't pick me up. We all got to start our journey somewhere.
Speaking of bathrooms, how about when there's a bunch of empty stalls and somebody comes in and sits in the one next to you or pees in the urinal next to you or even in those portable showers, man, out in the field. I remember I went specifically early because nobody was there. And then somebody comes in, there's at least 8 other stalls, and then he showers butt naked right next to me. I was just like, why?
Maybe he thought you had pretty eyes.
Yeah, the brown eye.
Maybe he was trying to look
Or you
at.
see the urinal part. So I just tell him, hey, hold mine, I hold yours.
So I had this, I don't know, it was a long time ago, but there was this one guy, he poked his thing in his nose, right? And then out of nowhere, I saw him at the other side and then, he's trying to shake my hand. And I'm like, oh man, I just saw you like 5 minutes ago thinking you know that you're trying to shake my hand. And that's a no-go, man.
Now that one with the bathroom stalls and showers and all that, that should be like an unwritten rule. It's just like everybody gets it, except there's like a certain amount of people that for some reason it just doesn't click. But for me, I get extra picky with that because I apply that to even things like when I go to the gym and I get on a treadmill or something. Well, you got this whole row of treadmills. If I can avoid it, I don't want to breathe your breath because we're both huffing and puffing, we're running, and it never fails. Every time I go to the gym, somebody jumps on the treadmill next to me. I'm like, why, man? You got all these treadmills. You got to run next to me. I don't want you to fling your sweat at me, but I apply that to everything. It's like if there's other options, why would you choose the one right next to me? I'm petty with that. It's a pet peeve of mine.
It's a secret race. That's what's always. I know, and I actually, it's a joke, but at the same time, it's kind of true. I know some people who do that to where they secretly push themselves against people next to them. So sometimes if they see I know if you go to the fitness centers on a lot of the bases, they always have that one guy, that either senior staff NCO or just that one skinny guy, maxed out on the treadmill, balls to the wall, full stride at 1,000 miles an hour for like 45 minutes straight. And then you get the other guy's going to go run next to him. Like, all right, I'm going to try to keep up or keep pace at his pace. When you see him click up on his thing, I'm going to raise mine too to match. I don't know. It's kind of like a matching thing. Some people use it as a driving factor, just like how you always have like the friend that wants to start to the gym. So they call the one friend who's been going out for years and like, hey, can you teach me how to do this? Instead of the blind leading the blind, it's the semi know-it-all versus the ignorant.
That goes with parking too, man. I could be parking all the way at the end of the parking lot and somebody would come park right next to me. And I'm like, hey, man. And there's like tons of other parking spots that's open. And I'm trying to park all the way at the end just to try to avoid hitting a car because my big person trying to open up the door.
Yeah, especially the drivers who drive on the slow lane when they're driving slow. Oh, wait, sorry. If they're driving on a passing lane, driving slow. And if you're driving, at least use your turn signal when you're making a turn.
As a truck driver, I'm not even going to care about the turn signal part because as they teach us you're constantly looking ahead. And I think you become a better defensive driver when you become a CDL driver because you're always concerned about weight and stopping distance constantly. Like how heavy you are and the flow of traffic, if you're going to be able to stop safely without bashing into these cars and killing them with 80,000 pounds or however heavy you are. So you notice a lot more things now because you're watching for a lot more things. You're watching about which lane is going to be clear, what this guy next to you is going to be doing, what he possibly could be doing. And so if we go by the 2-lane highway rule where left lane passing, right lane travel, there's a lot of people that just bring out the best of me because they like to travel in the passing lane. Even in states that it's completely illegal to travel in the passing lane, the left lane is for passing. The left lane is for passing. I drive 600 miles 5 days a week, and that's the one thing I hate the most. The left lane is for passing. If the person behind you and you're in the left lane is going faster than you, regardless of what the speed limit is, you're not the speed police. It's not your responsibility to slow down and make sure everybody behind you stays at the speed limit. Get out of the way, move over to the right, let them pass, let them get pulled over, let them be accountable to their own thing. And especially if they are, some people are like, well, they're driving recklessly. They could kill somebody. They could kill you. Get out of the way. A lot of times they're rushing, but if you have a drunk driver, you want to give them as much space. You don't want to put yourself in the way to where you can be in danger too. So if you're in the left lane and the person behind you is going faster than you, get over, let them pass, and then do what you will. Don't hold up traffic because you want to just mosey on in the passing lane.
Yeah, and the principle behind it, and this is why I get road rage, is I would get extra mad for that same scenario because the principle of it is there's 2 lanes for a reason. If you want to go faster than me, that's your lane. Get out of the way. But then you get in that lane, you want to travel side by side with another person. Now nobody can pass. The principle of it is that you're saying, hey, we're all going the same direction, but I'm going to force you to go as slow as I want to go. I'm like, why? Why you don't get there faster by making me go slower? No one's holding you up from getting to where you want to be when you want to be there, but you are not doing that same courtesy to someone else. So I get extra mad about that. To piggyback on the same subject, so when I was trucking, it's I got a lot of hate. And Johnny, you know what's up because I trucked for Swift. Every trucker hates Swift. We're the butt of everyone's joke. So we're all military here. Driving for Swift is like being in the Air Force. Everyone's taking shots at you. So the thing is my truck is a giant kick me sign when I drive with a 53-foot trailer that says Swift. Doesn't matter. I got no accidents, no incidents. I can do all my backings perfectly, but every time I go to back my truck, I know that every other super trucker's out there with his cell phone out because he wants to catch the Swift guy that doesn't know how to back his trailer and post it on YouTube and make fun of him. But they didn't do that to me. But when I'm doing the same passing scenario, I can only go so fast. You know how it is pulling a heavy load. I'm fully stacked. I'm 80,000 pounds. And I'm governed so that I can't go faster than 68 miles an hour in good conditions. And then I'll start passing an owner operator who doesn't have those restrictions. That guy can fly at 80 miles an hour if he wants. but he doesn't want to get passed by a swift guy. He's going slower than me. But as soon as I start very slowly creeping up in my left lane, trying to pass him, these dudes hit the pedal so that they'll either stay side by side with me, forcing me to now slow down and get behind him because I can't go any faster, or they're just going to keep that same pace, or they're just going to keep passing me on the slow lane. I hated those guys. But it's like they can crack all the Swift jokes they want because they only do it behind the wheel and behind the keyboard. Face to face at the truck stops, those same guys have nothing to say to me. I only hear your Swift jokes online. So.
Speaking of trucking, I see a lot of Samoans and the Usos are truck drivers now, huh? That's really, really good, man. One of my biggest pet peeves is stereotype. I hate it. Okay, and I speak from experience in my field because I work in the automotive industry. So I'm a service advisor, and I'm pretty sure you truckers know that when you go and take your truck in for service, the person you talk to, that's your service advisor. So I get people coming in, people from Compton, Long Beach, Carson, and when they saw me behind the desk, behind the computer, they go, "Oh, you're someone?" I said, "Yeah." "Man, I thought you guys are football players in security." I'm like, So I always tell them, those are you guys' stereotype that you guys associate race with the type of work you do. That's it. I wanted to be different. So this is me being different. So I'm that type of person that loves people bringing up stereotype stuff because I tell them, hey, nah. Okay, it might be 89% of the people that goes there, the race that goes there, but hey, there's 11% that's different. And of that 11%, 5% here, 6% there. So you can't put everybody in one pot.
I live by that stereotype that The Rock's my brother, my younger brother.
Yeah. And what about the people who are overposting in social media? They post multiple times throughout the day and they fill up your feed. Man, those are some special types of people.
I like to
Are you talking about when football season is in, or?
I'm talking about people who post every single day, multiple posts throughout the day. Those who think they're seriously a kind of a big deal, but they're not.
Well, if you are posting,
don't worry about those guys.
Share the Lava Lava page. We are posting every day.
Yeah, remember to share this video and subscribe if you haven't.
Do you have the name of that person, that friend of yours? Do you have the name of it or no?
Oh no. I'm not here to call people out
For science.
Just
for science and research.
Shoe fits,
No, what I was going to say is, Michael, to get that name is for data purposes. We need to collect data and so they can post our stuff. So that way we can maybe send out a survey later on.
Educational purposes.
Yeah, for me, like the people who post nonstop gets really annoying I get really annoyed if they're an older demographic. Because for me, I get it. I used to be one of those people, and social media is a brand new thing. You're like, oh, people need to know every thought that pops into my head. Then Facebook came up with the memories thing. And so it starts showing me, hey, you posted this 10 years ago. And I read what I used to post. I'm like, why would I post that? Nobody wants to read that. Nobody did read that. It had like one like, I think it was from my mom. It's like, and so like, I get embarrassed looking at the crap that I used to post. I'm like, nobody wants to see that. And so as an adult, I try to hold myself back. It's like, all right, look, do people really need to hear this? I'm like, no, I'm just going to keep quiet.
But it's amazing how we grew up so much over the span of 10 years.
One of my first world pet peeves is slow internet. I cannot deal with slow internet. And can you imagine how it was 10 years ago? Yeah.
I remember
dial-up. Yeah.
I remember dial-up. Yeah, I lived that life. What do you call it? What was that? The chat rooms? Hotmail.
Yeah. Yeah, and for your information, T-Mobile advertises their 5G. It's all fake. I'm going to say that right now. I own a T-Mobile phone and service. Bad service. Even out in like a populated city.
Oh, it works pretty good.
It's called T Maybe.
I've always had good service with T-Mobile. But the only thing I don't and this isn't just T-Mobile, for any cell phone carrier, if you ever go into Wyoming believes that you should use their own mobile network. So unless you're in one of their capital cities, you will not have any service whatsoever.
This just popped up on my head. Do you guys think pet peeves, do you think we acquire those, or is it something that we're genetically born with it and then it's kind of like you see our our families and they're doing some certain things and then we're following. Or like one of our biggest pet peeves back home is not wearing your shoes inside the house. And then we kind of acquire that for our lives, like, at least for mine, not to wear shoes inside the house.
Any psych majors in here?
Hey, that shoe thing, I think that's more like a house rule than a pet peeve, though.
Well, it becomes a pet peeve because pet peeves are little things that annoy you and things you dislike.
That doesn't annoy me. I think it's just a house rule. But I think the only pet peeve I have is like when I was in the military, like if I spent an hour or two teaching you something, like the time out of my day to tell you, explain to you, like even like when I was working at the airport and at my security job, like if I spent my time explaining to you how to do something and then 5 minutes later you mess it up, it really pisses me off to where like I will slap you in your face. I will look you in your eye and slap you in the face because I spent my time explaining to you. I even asked you if you had questions and you said no, and then I let you do it and you mess it up. I will slap you in the face. I don't know if that's for you guys, but I think that's the only pet peeve I have. I don't have any other pet peeves. Like I'm pretty used to people being annoying because of being in the military. A lot of people with different habits. I got used to it.
Yeah, it's the same thing when you tell someone that you're going to be in a podcast session and you go MIA for a month.
But I told you I was going to make it because I have prior engagements that I couldn't miss,
like bodily prior engagement.
So do you guys have any like physical, like bodily pet peeves? Because one of mine is chewing on like rubber balloons. Some people, when they chew on foil and the sound of styrofoam, do you guys have one of those?
Mine is those big earrings, those big ass earrings where literally you can fit a PVC pipe in it. Not that one. That one's too small.
Bigger?
I'm talking about
But
bigger than
some
triple.
girls who can rock it, but some girls take it off.
No, I'm talking about
Basketball loop.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
I know what you're talking about.
the big hole.
Use gauge.
Yeah, that one. Fatu.
I got a pet peeve kind of similar to Fatu's about the whole when it's just in one ear, not the other, because even beyond me explaining something, that's like even if I just have a conversation with somebody and they're on their phones or something like that, but they're pretending that they're still listening to me. So I'm like, and then we get into the conversation later, like, wait, what? And I was like, why do I even talk if you're not going to listen? I'm like, bro, if you want to be on your phone, go away and be on your phone. I'm not stopping you, but don't lie to me by trying to pretend you're still listening to what I have to say. If you want to hear what I have to say, that's fine. I'm not offended, but don't fake it. Like if you don't really interested in what I have to say, just tell me, man. I'll stop talking. I don't want to waste my words. Not that I have anything important to say, but I still don't want to waste my breath.
I was one of those people that I'm on the phone, but usually it's my wife talking to me. I did a mistake of telling her I'm not interested. Oh man, that was really bad.
Yeah, don't take marriage advice from me.
I think it's a man thing that when wife talk to you and then we don't pay attention, and the moment you say, "Hey, what were you saying?" But I want to circle back to what Ati was talking about. It's a pet peeve that developed kind of thing, or it's just genetically or whatever the case may be. I think it's a little bit of both. And I think part of it too because of where you're at, where you grew up at. Because I'm pretty sure I'm from Oahu, so we have our own little pet peeves, like when it comes to the ocean. Like for us, shoot. If we can see at the bottom of...
explain to our listeners where Oahu is. Some people probably don't know where that is.
Okay, so if you guys go to American Samoa, the island in front of American Samoa, that's us. So that's why when you guys are complaining about internet and stuff, I didn't say anything. Why? Because we have everything. We're right in front of everybody. So I kind of don't know what you guys talking about when it comes to or slow internet, because everything is fast over there, even the boat and everything. So, but yeah. So speaking on that, I think it depends on where you grew up from. Just like how when we swim in the ocean and stuff, the water, it gotta be clear. Otherwise, you won't jump in. Now, Fatu can't speak on it because Oahu is very dirty, so you can't really. So
I'm from Mangu'a, so what were you trying to say? The water in Mangu'a is a lot clearer.
Sir, you are not from Mangu'a, sorry.
I don't want to say anything about the pipe pool, man. That's one of my pet peeves, but
oh, y'all bringing in my village?
Agree.
Yeah, pipe pool.
Man, I'm not going to say anything, but we're going to keep this conversation clean, and we'll keep it going. How about those people? How about those people who think they are entitled? Like, I had an instance when I was a Lance Corporal in the Marine Corps. I was at the PX, and everyone was in civies, and this guy, well, I was sending home money through Western Union because that's what we did back in the day. We sent money through Western Union, and I was in line, and I was done, and this guy, he gave off staff NCO officer vibe. He said, "Excuse me," and then I stepped away, and he kept looking at me, and he said, "Are you not going to say anything?" He demanded a reply or respond from me, and I just looked at him, and then I didn't say anything. I just looked away. How about those people who think they're entitled?
No, I got, I'm sure everyone in the military has similar experiences. Like for me, one of the moments that just stuck out to me similar to that was we just gotten back from Afghanistan. It was my first deployment. We were trying to unwind and like just figure everything out. We were in Fort Bliss. Yeah, we were demobbing out of Fort Bliss at the time. And I was this is my second deployment. And so we're coming demobbing through Fort Hood. We're taking a lunch break, and my E6, who I really looked up to, was one of the best. He's on the officer by holding the door for him. He didn't have to do that. The officer, instead of even just walking through, like, I know what the customs and courtesies say, but dude, you're on your way into a building, and this NCO this guy who's been an NCO longer than you've been in the military is showing you a courtesy by holding the door open. He stops, and instead of walking through the door, it's like, "You're not going to salute me, Sergeant?" I'm like, "Really?" And he just gave the slowest, like, salute, hand raise. And I'm like, man, what is up with people like that? Like, I know what the customs and courtesy say, but do you really feel like he's disrespecting you by stopping and holding the door open for you? Entitled stuff like that really pissed me off.
I'm not gonna say no names, children, but when you have like a pitcher of Kool-Aid or container with milk or like juice or something like that that's in the fridge, and the rule is if you're the last one to finish it, you gotta throw it out. And so they'll pour it and leave just like this much at the very, very bottom, and then put it back in the fridge. And then when you go in, you open the fridge expecting to have something, and you got this tiny, it doesn't even fill up the cup, not even a quarter way. And so it was one of those things like, if you're going to finish it, put it out. And if there's going to be like less than a teaspoon left in that thing, it's finished. Take it out of the fridge. Don't put it back in the fridge like it's going to do something tomorrow when I'm thirsty.
Or that's nothing compared to one scoop of rice left in the rice pot. What are you going to do with one scoop of rice in a rice pot? Literally. There's no meal out of it.
That's good enough for me. I only need one scoop of rice.
I know, me too, because I'm watching my figure. So only 34 milliliters. Is that right? Is that a scoop of rice?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what Balangi side you guys are on, but I eat at least 2-3 scoop of rice. There's no such thing as one scoop of rice in a Samoan household, brother.
Thank you for tuning into our episodes. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. Please share your experience with us or suggest a topic you would like us to talk about. If you haven't done so, please follow and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and we'll catch you next time. Tofaswe Fua.